Greetings, VOD enthusiasts. You may be wondering why I've chosen to stream at this hour. And it's because... something! Okay... So many games I play have a, like, accept all rewards thing. And it's so nice. I heard in the grapevine, not through it, I heard inside the grapevine that there was a brand new mage portrait that I would never use. Look at it. I actually do think it was cool if I was like more into Hearthstone right now, and I don't know. It's like a little comic-y, right? Like this is the type of thing I would really love, but the delivery is kind of like, who cares? Mage is also a high contestion class as far as like, I have too many amazing mage skins. So... to the matter at hand. Matter at hand being Mill Dragon Druid. Hey, Shadow. Howdly doodly. What if I play this just as is? What then, chat? Do I have any insights into the world of Spagoo? I don't think I Spadoo. Let's go. Hey, Swelfo. Hey, Nexus. It's too warm. I don't like it. Make it stop. I'm over it. Stop. Stop it. Grumpy Kitten. I finally get to watch live again. Hello, sir. Hello, Demir. My long chungus has ended. My long spagoo has ragu. Adjusting my settings, because I love to do that. This is a non-500 wins paladin, featuring the styles of armor vendor. If I were a Marshi, and I think I am, would I coin wild growth here? I don't think so. I don't think so. And ow. This is probably Exodia, right? Almost certainly. Oh my, I was about to play some Hearthstone, but now I prefer to watch it if it's the Marshi. What it do, Lewis? What it do? What it does, what it doesn't. I feel like this is a draw type of moment, if you will. Renee watches a lot of reality television, not like the, not like Jersey Shore, but you know, like food shows, construction shows, that type of thing. And they're always talking about moments. You know, like, we're having a moment. You know, it's pretty silly. Oh, please, no, never mind. I was gonna hope that they had drawn the snakeskin oil. But if they didn't play order in the court, what happened there? It's kind of strange. It's a little bit strange, chat. Not a single scale. Not even a single scale. Hey, Kyle. Alright, there's the order. Hey, Fred. Twitch chat is dead chat, and YouTube chat is the one that's popping tonight. Is that how it goes? Is that how it goes in the evening? Is it a Twitch chat or a YouTube chat moment? Are we all having a YouTube chat moment right now? I guess I draw here, right? Because of Nosbungus. It's gonna set us to the whatevers anyway. Martian Boo when he's sad. I'm Martian Blue. True. I have said that before. It seems Imbue is breaking the meta in Standard and in Wild. Imbue is definitely breaking the meta as much as it can. I'll give it that much. Well, I do this. I do this. I do this. And our only hope is to be sad. Time to say poo poo pee pee. It's true. Pound it, Veliosis. How is it even possible? What's going on here? Does this win the video game, by the way? Like, if I go ahead and do the old tog wiggle. Why give up the buddy like that? I don't know. I think they kind of had it in their mind that they were already on the I think they had it in their mind that now why wouldn't this be ordered? They didn't shuffle, did they? Makes me think they already had the other two in hands. I won't lie to you, chat. Hey, Schmoopies. It's okay, I'll just never forgive you. I watch all my Hearthstone content at 2x speed, so seeing it normal is a little agonizing. I feel you. I feel you. Chat. All I can say is, you're welcome. Aw, wasted. Martian never streams late. I turned in for the potty talk. Me too, man. Me too. Diaper biscuits. Why can't they make animations faster? Yeah, I feel like all animations need to be snappy. I don't want to make it so that, like, I don't want to extend turns to allow people to do more animations. I want animations, even not for APM purposes, to be much snappier, you know? Like, I like showy animations. I think that, like, you know, I definitely don't want to do something where we would turn the animations off, as some people think. But, like, you know, every animation should be quick and satisfying. Nothing should be drawn out like a lot of them are. You know, like, anything that makes you wait for, like, a couple seconds while it goes... You think they re-spread up Spreading Plague, really? You think? Because the first time it was super noticeable. It was, like... undeniable. Much like my logic. iRobot. Is that Guff, the famously broken Hearthstone streamer? It is true. I am Guff. I am Guff. He who eats the spagoo. Hey, it's more Paladin. Everyone loves a Paladin. Everyone loves having 8 wild growths and drawing none of them. Even summoning a basic minion takes an eternity. Disaster. Chat, how do you like my chances here? Hearthstone brings APM to the design space of digital card games. Probably not intended at the beginning, but who knows? It's true. I don't even, like, I'm not even talking about APM for now. I'm just talking about, like, general enjoyment of the game. I think the game is more fun when... animations don't take that long. Interesting. Did they just not draw it?
Stay alert, my children.
I think it's slower than the insta-spawn plague, faster than slow 1x1 plague. I have a question, chat. Why on earth would they not play Nozdormu if they have it in hand? What is it with these Exodias right now?
Stay alert, my children.
Making the choices of all time. Speaking of choices of all time, look at me go. Like, I would have wanted those, right? To go with my Neralax. Just, like, threw them out for literally no reason. Recently saw a remastered picture of Need for Speed Underground 2. Was anyone else obsessed with that game, or am I a stan? I don't know what that is. Is the Heart of the Cards with us tonight? Nope. What is going on? Hey, Guapo. Yeah, this was a Guapo suggestion. I'll tell you what wasn't a Guapo suggestion, though. My opponent not running Nozdormu? Do they not believe in Nozdormu? Do they believe in Grizzled Wizard Mistress of Mixtures? They believe in something? Oh, okay. Is that card real? Which one? I still have no idea how to make the Twitch Prime subs pop up. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you for being a member and for being a Twitch sub. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, or else. Cold feet? That seems awfully rude. Seems awfully rude. Now, see, if this was still nerfed, that'd be great. Well, if it was not fully reverted, right? Like if it still had its one attack. Huh? Huh, indeed. Oh, wait. Okay. So all I have to do is write out this timeout. Is this what happens when you bought an Exodia Paladin? Is that what's going on? Sure is something. Yeah, I guess so. Where's yeah. The thing is, like, I don't know that I can afford. I don't know that I can afford to take this, you know. If I can get my ETC, there's a spreading plague in it. Nighttime Marshy, best Marshy. What up, Christaman? Okay, I instantly lose if I play this. 10. Instantly lose if I play this. That won't work. Basically, I have to draw more. But, like, what could I draw? I don't know. Nothing? Like, paralyzed with Mungus. I probably should have just, like, gone for some crazy Kazakhstan stuff. Or, I don't know. Well, let's just say they haven't made hold on. As long as I'm doing this, I don't think there's any reason not to do it this way. Like, as long as they're making the decisions they have been. Sleepy works. Yeah, they'd get to trade in a lot of it. I thought about playing it, but like, yeah, I don't know. I got my canned mushroom soup for green bean casserole, but I haven't had a guest who would appreciate it yet. Well, power to you. You love to see it. The hero wins once again. Pound it, Veliosis. Maybe don't let your health be 0. I hear that makes you lose. True. True. It does. Well, that's going to make an excellent member two-parter. I have a member vid already. I guess we'll make that tomorrow morning. I need to post member videos more often so people don't stop being members, you know? Health was still above 0 and you lost. Seems like hacks. I'm that bad. I'm that bad. What up, Lamp? The Winter Queen. Queen of the chicken stock. Why does Martian say the things he says? Nobody knows, sure. Nobody's quite certain. The best way to win against Exodia Paladin, it's not losing. True. The Winter Queen in spring. Yep. Do you ever check in Philly Wizard in this, man? I mean, I don't. Maybe I should. Maybe I should, chat. Maybe I should just become a tech streamer. You guys love that, don't you? You guys love to see a good tech game. See people sit there and get absolutely wrecked by the tech. Feels ridiculous, but the paladins are so annoying. They are annoying. Everything's annoying. I hate it when my opponent wins me. My opponents are all supposed to lose to me. I cannot get out of Platinum with normal wild climbing decks. Shadow Priest, Imbue Mage, Armor Warrior, Libram. Am I doomed to just swapping to a Call to Arms variant? Or what do you recommend? Chat too. I don't care. LOL! You guys like my dramatic chat readings? Is that how I should read you guys out from now on? What would I play if I wanted to win a video game? I don't know. Did your tech warlock vid do well? My warlock, my most recent warlock vid did well. Yeah, Demon Seed did fine. My Reno warlock vid did well. Should I play this against Astral Communion chat? What are your thoughts? The last one that did like really good was the Reno Death Knight. All right, what should I recommend to this poor human? I like Call to Arms Paladin. Like I think that's good, and I think it's fun. So if you have that built already, like you can just play that. May I suggest if you want a video game to win, you set Minesweeper to 1 mine? Oh, okay. Watch Martian and learn his ways, yes. You always play the game exactly as Martian would. Monkey see, monkey do. Nothing wrong with Martian's gameplay, not one bit. Martian would never make the worst possible plays of all time. About him. Aw, I miss my Grove Chungus, already. Chat, I'm gonna play this. My opponent wants to, like, play a bunch of stuff because I've given them all the value they could ever want, then, you know, that's on them. That's not my fault. Feels weird to not have the Martian subtitles on. Oh, because you guys are all used to watching me play Spaghetti Soup. Wow. Oh, my opponent's done it again. They've done it again, chat. Honestly, Skipper Warrior probably is pretty good into Imbue Mage and Shadow Priest, I bet. Yeah. Martian has never made a mistake. That's true, actually, yeah. I read that somewhere. Probably in chat just now. It's so funny to me that discard your whole hand druid is a real deck. Yeah. Well, it's like, you get to keep all the mana. It's not like you play that and you get, you know, somewhere between 4 and 6 mana like it used to be. Like, you get all 10 mana. But also, the things that you get to have after that are pretty good. So, yeah. There's like lots of nice bombs. I don't know about this. It takes 4 to pet one of these, so I guess I do have to smack it. And then we're just like dead pretty much. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows my sorrow. Psycho Crazy coming in with the 41 months. Psycho Crazy, thank you so much. How are you? This meta is so much fun when you have to run a tech deck just to counter one popular deck just to lose to all the other decks too. You love to see it. Why not Nerlax on Ixia? I kind of wanted them to stay board locked, but I guess, yeah, I could have done that. Could have done that. Probably should have. And you're right, Guapo. I like Freeze Mage into this meta, but I've been the one guy playing it forever. Just Ice Block Turbo. I think the most success I've had in recent history was getting really drinkies. My opponent had lethal, right? Don't they have twin slice in there? Or do they not? Am I tripping? As the kids say. I processed that as I would get refreshed mana, but you know, obviously it didn't work out that way. Chat, I might be the single greatest player that any game has ever seen. Do you think with a weapon like that out that I could win this video game? Alright, let's never talk about this again. Bad news, Marshy. These are not your normal streaming hours. I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to log off before I call the Twitch police and get them involved. Those are the rules? Okay, fair enough. Is Iceblock really getting Hall of Fame banned? Yes. Iceblock is definitely getting banned. I'll miss you, Iceblock. Banned from the game. Is it really getting banned? Absolutely it is. Where would the Hall of Fame go to? Where would the Hall of Fame take you? If Iceblock was getting Hall of Fame bans, where would it go? Chat. Is there Super Wild? Am I not allowed in Super Wild? Who banned me from Super Wild? There's a place cards can go beyond Wild. You guys didn't tell me? I should be allowed to go play Super Wild. Wilder, the mode where Iceblock can refer to Lucia. Oh, okay, very good. Yeah. Man, I want to go play Super Wild. That sounds sick. What we do know is that you're one of the top 2 video gamers in that previous game. That's true. Yes, that's true. We can't let you be the best player in another format. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. That's fine. This is why I turn my brain off when people say ban the Wild exclusive card. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of funny. Like, I don't know. Like, it's funny and it's funny and it's to be expected that like not like even now, even in 2025, people still don't understand how the balance works when it comes to Wild and Standard, and the design decisions that led us here. Should I do a video? Should I do a video talking about the history of ban nerf policy in Hearthstone? Is that a good video? Would a good streamer do that? Did you guys watch that? Why make a video when I can just do it right now? Oh, okay, fair enough, fair enough. Alright, well, in the beginning, Yogg created the RNG and the skill. And you're all banned. So, back in my day, Benjamin Broad, he thought if they ever nerfed anything, everyone would leave. So they were afraid to nerf things initially because they were like, if we nerf anything, everyone's going to be so mad at us for nerfing things. And then they're going to leave and go play other games and cry sweet, sweet tears. And so they didn't nerf anything for a long time. They nerfed only what they had to. Like, if you go and look at the history of nerfs, it's so funny. like you get to 2020, you get to Year of the Phoenix, and the nerfs from that year I should have taken Boombots, I think, against Mage, but I don't know. I don't care. The amount of nerfs that happened just in 2020 completely eclipsed the nerfs that happened in all the years before it. Like 2020 had modern day amount of nerfs. You know, like we get like 1,000 nerfs a year now. And you know, 1,000 nerfs, you might say that's hyperbole or an over exaggeration, but like, you know, it's 1,000 nerfs, maybe 10,000. It's a lot of nerfs. Realistically, like, what is it, like 40, 50 nerfs? Like a ton of nerfs. But before 2020, when they were scared that nerfing would lead people to leave the game, wow, this is a really boring outcome. Look at this. Nixia tanked. Nixia really came in clutch here. Alright, get wrecked, Imbue Mage, because I think you can't beat Imbue Mage. We beat it with Mungus. We beat it with a giant pile of heaping stew. Anyways, back in the good old days, only like 3 to 5 cards got nerfed a year. It's really that low. You should go look at it. Like if you look at the Hearthstone wiki for nerfs, it really is like, you know, just a handful of nerfs every year. And then so they like looked at their data and they're like, okay, actually what happens when we nerf somebody's favorite deck, what they do is they either keep playing that deck or they move on to another deck in most cases. So what if we constantly nerfed everything for the sheer thrill? We constantly nerfed everything that was remotely playable. All right, is this card strong? Okay, we should nerf it. And so they tried that for a long time. They've been calming down on that recently, like in the last year. So when they started nerfing a lot, they were nerfing for the sake of change, and they were nerfing because they had released a card deliberately strong to hook the audience with the plan to nerf it later, right? Like once everyone had already enjoyed the card for 2 days. So they had not banned anything yet. Oh my, I just skipped over a giant, like, I skipped over an epoch. All right, so in between the rampant nerfings of 2020 and back in the old days when they tried to nerf barely anything, they were trying to decide how they were going to handle rotation. So to have a card game remain interesting, in most cases, you have to like start rotating older cards, because if you keep all cards in the premier format forever, you end up like Yu-Gi-Oh, which is fine for some people, but it's not fine for, like, I don't think in most cases it works for the broader audience. It's just too hard to design new cards that way. Like, metas get dominated by ancient things, and it ends up being really expensive, and like just to keep up, and there's too much stuff to read to get into it, so it's like harder for new players. So it's better to have a rotation and have a legacy format. So what standard what Blizzard did initially was they were like, what if basic and classic set was forever? So everyone who's invested in the basic and classic set always has that to hold on to remain relevant in Hearthstone. And then they get new cards, and the like standard is defined by whatever the like expansions of those 2 years are. So that was the first policy, was Hearthstone. I lost my train of thought. Was things were going to rotate after 2 years, but Hall of Fame, basic and classic would stick around forever. Then right when they implemented that, they nerfed a bunch of the basic and classic cards because they were going to stay around forever. So like the ones that had silence, especially the ones that like were too efficient at 7 mana, like Ancient of Lore, It's lore, right? Yeah. So they nerfed a bunch of those just in preparation for Basic and Classic being around forever. And then after a year of that, they saw that the meta was still defined by those cards because they're stuck there forever and they were all pretty decent cards. And they decided, in lieu of continuously nerfing all of the Basic and Classic cards until new cards would continue to see play, because the whole purpose of rotation is that new cards see play. And the prevalence of Basic and Classic was making it hard for like 5 drops to see play because Azure Drake was so efficient at the time, you know, like that type of thing. I'm gonna try to focus during my turns so that I can like use these games without being sad. Should I do this and this? Probably. Seems okay. The other option is to coin and Spreading Plague, which would only give me 3 plagues, but I think 3 plagues is kind of good. I'm gonna do that. All right, so Basic and Classic being eternal kept Basic and Classic defining metas. So they instituted the Hall of Fame. And what they started doing is when cards, it wasn't when cards were so broken that they had to be, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention, Schmoopy. I believe you that it was faster though. The Schmoopy says the Spreading Plague animation is sped up. So it wasn't like a card was so broken that it had to be removed. It was a card was so efficient that it made it really hard for other cards to see play too, was the issue. Is this good? So if I did this and this, I would only have 3 mana. I can make this trade. Yeah. Oh, I can go again. Alright, so now we're looking at 8. I don't feel very dead next turn. And there we have A&R, so yeah, we should be okay. So like if a card is really efficient, not even broken, just efficient enough, it means that all new cards have to meet a very specific threshold to be playable. So that was the issue with things like Azure Drake and Ragnaros. It's not that they were necessarily broken. It's that they were just so decent that things had to be that much better to be good enough to see play in a deck. And so then they came up with the Hall of Fame. So the Hall of Fame was for cards that like just didn't have a place in Standard. So they started at the end of the year to honor their promise that, you know, your Basic and Classic cards would be relevant forever. Like to make up for that promise not quite working out exactly the way that they said it would. What they did was, if a card was going to be Hall of Famed, not only would you get the full dust refund for it being rotated to Wild, for it being Hall of Fame, they would just give you the whole dust. But you would also get to keep the card. So, I should just heal to full, right? I'll do this. Okay, we'll be fine. I think we're gonna be just fine, chat. And we can even do this. I wonder if I did that in the right order even. I mean, like I could just refresh again, couldn't I? No, I couldn't. So I won't worry about that anymore. I'll continue to feel like we're gonna win this video game. So to honor the or to make up for not being able to honor the commitment to having Basic and Classic remain in Standard forever, because they started pulling cards out of it. If a card was going to be Hall of Famed, they would give you the entire dust back, right, for free, and you would get to keep the card. So as it was leaving, if you wanted to, you could like craft the golden version and then of that card, and then it would rotate. You get the full dust for that, and then you can disenchant it back. So like if you didn't have it, you would just get a bunch of dust. And so it went on like that for a while. And then in 2021 is when they decided that Basic and Classic had outlived its usefulness. And that's when they changed it to the core system. So to honor the Basic and Classic is going to be relevant forever promise, even though they couldn't, you know, I think correctly decided that that was not a good decision. They give you, that's why you have the core set for free, right? Because they promise that your Basic and Classic investment would stay relevant for an eternity, and they couldn't, you know, keep doing that because it was not a good policy. And to make up for that, you get free core set. Go forth and eat cheese. Go forth and mung beans. Chat, how do you like my opponent's chances, by the by? Thoughts? Thoughts on my opponent's chances? Is it looking pretty good over there? What do you guys think? Man, what do I even do? I could draw until my hands are full again. Do I want to do that? I guess so. You, the little shadow priest that could. I believe in them, chat. Anyways,
My hand is too full.
so yeah, now we're up to speed. Now we're up to speed. Back to the part where we're nerfing. We've decided that nerfing cards does not cause players to leave, and so we're going to try nerfing more often. We're gonna release cards in more powerful states, and with the, you know, like, we can always dial it back if they don't work out, but like new cards will be more exciting. So like from like, I don't know, Ashes through, you know, like last year, that's kind of the cadence of how everything was. And then people kept complaining about the high power level, because like if you're releasing everything like really strong and then just dialing some of it back, like you know, that's pretty aggressive power creep over time, right? So people started complaining about that, and so in this past year, like since Great Dark Beyond, we've seen a lot of, you know, pulling back on the power level, and that's the history of nerf policies as this observer has observed it. I hope you enjoyed it. You know what? I even forgot. Like I forgot another. I forgot another thing. All right. Okay, chat. No. I skipped over another thing. Oh my goodness. The heart of this question was, someone was saying banned Ice Block to the Hall of Fame, and my reaction was to laugh at them because I'm a jerk, and that's how I do things. But I skipped over the part. How does wild fit into all that? That was a very standard focus. That was a very standard focused walkthrough of how the balance decisions would go. So the why does wild exist, chat? Right? Wild standard rotation 101. Right? Card game rotation 101. Why does the eternal format exist? Again, any hands in chat? Well, who's raised your hands? Who knows the answer to this one? The answer is so that new cards don't have to be balanced around every card that's ever existed, right? So you can design new cards without having to think about their impact in older formats. So, when everyone thinks like, didn't they test anything? Didn't they know Reckless Apprentice was gonna break wild? What were they thinking? Like, they weren't thinking about wild. And to be fair, when they catch something, when like, you know, they find out a new card and someone's like, hey, did you know Did you know that Lab Recruiter, or not Lab Recruiter, did you know that Test Subject, Radiant Elemental, and Mind Seer go infinite with that Reborn spell? And they're like, oh yeah, we can't have that. We can't have that, no. And so that's like, Test Subject got nerfed when Mind Seer was about to come out, right? So, you know, and the Echo with is it Radiance of Ashara? Is that what the name's called? Like the Sorcerer's Apprentice for nature spells that Shaman was gonna have. I think it's called Radiance of Ashara. When that was coming out, they put the Echo keyword onto is it Unstable Evolution? Is that the Pretend Echo one? It used to have Pretend Echo, and they changed it to have True Echo because Echo now can't cost less than 1. You're like, Echoes can't cost less than 1. So, you know, when they catch something that's designed for Standard is going to break Wild. When they catch it, they do something about it, right? Like, you know, to an extent. You know, Reckless Apprentice is really stupid in Wild, but like with the imbue, but it didn't break Wild. Wild is playable. Have you seen have you seen an imbue mage in any of these games? Well, like the first game was imbue mage, right? Like we've had games that aren't imbue mage, right? Six players, 4 of them have been druids. 5 of them have been druids in these last 3 games. Anyways, so when something's like truly going to break Wild, they'll change it. But they're not designing the card with Wild in mind. They want you to play Standard, and Wild exists, you know, just in case you want to play with your older stuff. You know, if you really want, if you don't like, okay, if you still have your stupid Shutterwalk, you don't have to dust it. You can go play Shutterwalk in Wild if you really want to. We want you over here playing with our cool Standard stuff. But if you want to play your stupid Wild stuff, you can. You can go over there and do that. And they do take measures to try and make it so that people who are playing Wild don't just hate their don't have to stop playing the game if it's not going their way, you know. I saved this for the Grove Shaper, right? Pretty sure. Do I do this? Have I already played a... I have. I've played a due process, right? So yeah, they'll intervene in Wild to keep it from becoming an absolute mess, right? But they're not actively designing for Wild. That's the difference. The game is designed for Standard, and Wild exists as a way for you to, like, you know, jump over there and have a funny time from time to time. That's the ideal situation for them. But so basically up until Ashes, I think the Wild changes were like Barnes and Naga Sea Witch and Echo. Were those the only 3? I think those might have been the only 3 Wild exclusive changes up before Ashes. And I'm using Ashes as Year of the Phoenix. But in Scholomance, the second set of Year of the Phoenix, the set after Ashes, we got Darkglare. Well, Darkglare we already had. We got the support for Darkglare. So Darkglare lets you refresh 2 mana crystals every time you took damage on your own turn, which is pretty good with Kobold Librarian. There was like a Zoo Discard Warlock that people were playing a little bit for a while in Ashes, but it was okay. It wasn't great. But then we got Flesh Giant and Raise Dead and what else? Some other stuff. Penflinger. There was it got a ton of support after that. You know, does my opponent not want to play with me? What a Goomba, as my dad would say. Here's this. We'll smack you in the... Oh, my opponent left. Alright, they're over it. They're tired of all my stupid Wild talk. But, so anyways, the issue with Wild was a Standard card. Alright. Let me mark this really quick. 3rd game. Probably not going to matter. I don't know, because I'm going to keep this game no matter what, because I'm in the middle of my discussion. The problem with Wild was a Standard card, not a Wild card, right? Like, Darkglare plus the efficient self-damage in Wild was too much for Wild. Darkglare refreshing 2 was absolutely ridiculous. And so you would get out, like, I remember Otters was running like Youthful Pandaren and Novice Engineer just to find Darklair better, and like you could use Youthful Pandaren the same turn that you played Lotheb with Darklairs on board, just because you could like gain so much mana. You know, like a Kobold Librarian with Refresh 2 Darklair was netting you a mana, right? Like if you played it on 5, you play Darklair, you have 2 mana left. You play Kobold Librarian, you have 3 mana left. You play Raise Dead, now you have 5 mana left. You can play the Lotheb, you play Raise Dead again, you have 2 mana left. You Brewmaster your Lotheb back. You know, like there was so much stupid stuff you could do just because like it was absurd refreshing that much mana. And so you could have nerfed Kobold Librarian, I think. If you really wanted to, you could take Kobold Librarian to like 2 mana, and that probably would have shut the deck down right quick. But they decided they were going to nerf a standard card for Wild's sake for the first time. And that has been terrible for precedent. Like it would be like most of a year before they'd ban the first card. And in that time, people, like, you couldn't tell people that like that was a one-time thing. You couldn't remind them like that was a really extreme issue, and Darklair was showing like a pretty big win rate as it was in standard. And then if you fast forward, Stormwind would have been under development at that time, so they knew what was coming, right? So like it just because we saw them make a wild we saw them make a change to a standard card for Wild's sake once in an extreme situation did not mean that it was time to make a wild change to a standard card every time. Like, because if you're going to design the game around standard, it's not fair to standard players to have random cards gutted left and right that don't see any play in standard, right? Like, not that don't see any play, but aren't causing real problems in standard. It's not fair, like, because they were told to play standard, you know? Anyways, so I remember being really obnoxious. Like, talking about nerfs and bans during that time was like awful, because people are like, yeah, well, they changed Darklair. Well, like, consider the context. Consider the context for why they banned Darklair, please. And especially looking back, because we saw eventually that Stealer of Souls and Stormwind were coming out. But then they did the same thing again in like a couple releases later in Darkmoon Races. So in Darkmoon Races, Hysteria came out, and Hysteria used to cost 3, but also used to be able to target your own characters. So what you would do is you would take the Death Speaker, is that what it's called? The 3-for-2-for. It makes one of your other characters immune. The character you make immune is the Wretched Tiller, the get out of my field, like whatever he says. And then you would use Hysteria on your Wretched Tiller, and it would just attack everything on the board and deal 2 damage to your opponent's face every time it attacks until the board was completely gone. So you just wait until there's a certain amount of board presence, and you go Tiller, Death Speaker, Hysteria, and win the game. And like the the animations were forever. Your opponent would play that and they'd instantly win, but like you couldn't concede out of it. You had to sit there and take it. I mean, you could like quit the game and restart and come back and see it, but like it would go on for a long time. So unless you wanted to restart your game, you would have to sit there and go, get out of my field, get out of my field, get out of my field, get out, and like it's get out of my field, get out of my, like I don't like, what's its attack noise? I don't think that's its attack noise. I think that's its other noise. But anyways, am I supposed to do this? I'm so scared, chat. I think I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna be one of those like losing boos, you know what I mean? I meant to do this first, so I just did that and that for no reason. They don't call me Martian Stew for nothing. I'm literally the best player, chat. You know, okay, come on. So again, we got a standard change for Wild's sake. A change to a standard card for the sake of wild. Ooh, it's one off, right? Maybe it won't even give it to him. Unlucky. But also, again, Hysteria was a problem in Standard too. Like, just making it so you couldn't target your own characters wasn't enough. They also had to go back and nerf its mana cost later. So, oh man, I wish I still had that, what you call it. What is my plan here? I think my plan here is to spreading plague. Spreading plague against stupid shaman. Alright, well, fingers crossed. Then, oh, they're gonna devolve us and hit us in the face once, so we're good. We accept that we're dead. Yes, yes, yes. You're very clever. So they had to do it again, but they were also doing it to a card that they knew they would have to address, right? Like, it's not like, you know, a card that wasn't broken in Standard was getting nerfed for Wild's sake. And this time, the change didn't really affect Wild. It didn't really affect Standard at all. So they did it again. They nerfed Hysteria. And then, so in the space of like about half a year, they had twice nerfed a card for Wild's sake. You know, like we released a card that is completely unacceptable in Wild, and so we had to nerf it. And really, like, I remember being really critical of that because I felt like they should have nerfed Death Whisper, because like that would pop up again. It hasn't popped up again, to be fair, but like, I don't know. I feel like it's the type of thing that has a high likelihood of popping up again. And then you could nerf a standard card. You could nerf a wild card for wild instead of a standard card. But they didn't end up doing that. So fast forward just a little bit, they came out with the Barons, and then they came out with Wailing Caverns mini set. And in the Wailing Caverns mini set, there was a card, Stealer of Souls? That's what the card was called, right? Am I tripping? Because Soul Stealer is the Death Knight card, right? Stealer of Souls is the Warlock one. Yeah, so what it did is you would every card you drew while you had Stealer of Souls out cost health instead of mana. And the way that Immune worked with it, for some reason, nobody knows why, but for some reason, the way that Immune worked with that was it wouldn't let you, like, you wouldn't take any damage while it was happening. So like they had like when your hero is immune. So if you had out the 3 for what is that thing called? It's like a 3 for 4/3 or something like that on your turn, you had immune. So if you had that out and the Stealer of Souls and Warlock, you could just like backfire and, you know, draw your whole deck, because everything would cost free. You could play your whole deck for free. Violet Illusionist, thank you. So starting around turn 5 or 6, because there was this, like, with demonic studies, you could get it out a little bit early. Starting around turn 6, you would just draw your whole deck and either get out Mecha'thun and win, or create an unanswerable board state. And like, this is one of those times where there was like a big community disagreement over whether or not this card actually needed to be changed, because like absolutely from a play pattern standpoint, that was obnoxious. Okay, that was awful. Like, it was it was not a good time in Wild. You know, like, if you're actually talking about, is Hearthstone a fun game right now? No, it wasn't. It wasn't a fun game at all in Wild. What do I want here? Narrowlax, I guess. Probably this. I don't know. I don't like any of it. I don't want to give them cards. To keep getting my Barons. So like it sucked. Everyone was kind of divided, like, because like the win rate was kind of like Caverns Rogue in Ungoro, where it was really good at, like, you couldn't lose the games that it was good into, but, you know, like, there were things like Shadow Priest wasn't out yet, but like whatever aggro deck at the time, like, it's been so long I don't even remember, If you were playing whatever aggro deck at the time, I think we're going to do this and then Finley and hope for something exciting to happen. That's my plan. I don't know that was a good plan because I think I had some answers between this turn and the next turn, but we'll see how it works out for the old Marshy. Ooh, give me some seeds. No! I guess I'll take this. So I'll do this. And that. And then we'll hope we don't lose. We might not lose. We'll see. But it was a really obnoxious deck, and you would face it a lot. So unless you were willing to, like, complete... Oh, it was Dark Lair. The Dark Lair deck was still good. So when they nerfed it for Standard, the best part was the deck wasn't actually dead. It kept on going. So they changed it to the 2-mana 2/3 version, Refresh 1. And that was still the best deck in Wild until Stormwind when it finally got changed. So like, yeah, if you were willing to only play Dark Lair or whatever else was like the sweaty decks, yes, of course you would be fine into Stealer of Souls. But if you wanted to play anything else, like if you wanted to play a Reno deck, if you wanted to play basically anything else, you would, if you ran into the Stealer of the Souls deck, and you would lose, and you would lose in a really annoying way. So then they were like, we've had enough, all right? Enough of these having to change standard cards for Wild's sake. We're going to finally do what Martian's been suggesting this whole time, which is ban cards in Wild that are problematic. So Stealer of Souls was the first ban, and I throw my name in there because I was complaining about that the whole year. I was like, why didn't they just ban Dark Lair? Not even because Dark Lair kept being good, right? Like, I was just annoyed that they were nerfing standard cards for Wild's sake. So yeah, they finally started doing that in Wailing Caverns, is when they started banning standard cards when they were causing Wild problems. And so the way that works, they kept doing that, right? Like that's just how they've done it ever since. If they can change a wild, if it makes sense to change a wild card, they'll change a wild card. If it doesn't make sense to change a wild card, they will ban the standard card, and that's how it's gone ever since. And so when people talk about banning a wild card, why would you ban a wild card? What other format? A card that's only in Wild, what other format does that card need to be spared for, right? Like, why are you gonna ban ban a card that doesn't have a home? Like, you might as well delete it. Like, if you're gonna ban a card that's not legal in any format, why don't you just delete it? But so if a card is Wild only, then you change it. If a card is Wild and Standard, you ban it. If the only reason it's good is because of a Wild situation. So when people talk about banning things or Hall of Faming Ice Block, for me, when I was streaming in 2020 and in 2021, I had to have these conversations so often. It's such a weird throwback because we've had so much time. They deleted MechWarper for a bit. They did because they had Twist. Yeah, they wanted it for Twist. So like there was another format at the time. Now there isn't. But it's a funny throwback to me now because, like, you know, still in 2025, so many generations have risen and fallen since the very well established Wild balance policies have been enacted. And still we have these conversations where people talk about wanting to ban a card in Wild that's a Wild exclusive card. And it's not even just that one comment, right? Like, people really talk about banning things all the time. Like, whenever they like, man, they should just ban this card, and this card, and all three of them will be Wild cards. Like, why are we banning them? Are you foldovers from like paper card games? You don't know how to talk about nerfs? I wish that were true, chat, by the way. 'Cause, like, what's really nice about banning a card instead of nerfing a card, if the nerf is going to make that card unplayable, what's really nice about that is, you know, from time to time you can just unban it, let people play it. I feel like unbans are easier than unnerfs, but at least because, like, you know, it's very easy for the player base to wrap around a ban versus a nerf if we're going to go back on it, right? Like, if we're going to go back on a change, that card was banned, now it's unbanned, is easier to understand than this card worked this way yesterday and suddenly it works a completely different way today. Like, having that flip back and forth doesn't make a lot of sense. So, like, it'd be cool if cards that were getting nerfed into unplayability, like cards that were getting functionally deleted, if they got banned instead for the purpose of temporarily giving them amnesty from time to time, that'd be sick. But, you know, like, they're not, like, Wild exists just in case you want to play some, not because they want you to play in this mode, right? Like, so if you're gonna have amnesty week, that's a very we want you to play this mode, here's a fun event type of thing. Here, let's let you, I'm Mill Druid, right? Why aren't I, like, letting them draw all the cards of all time? You heard they should ban Ursul and Cold Feet for Wild today? At least those are standard cards, right? Like, that's those standard cards. You've said a lot, but can you confirm if Ice Block is getting banned? It is getting banned. Just like you're getting banned from my channel. Cold Feet isn't. Did it really rotate? Cold Feet is a wild card. Oh, well, you know, the more you know. Fairly certain Cold Feet isn't standard. Well, okay, you guys are just the cat's meow. You guys are just the pickled mungus, aren't you? You guys know what's happening. Poor old Marshy's out here, having no idea what's going on. You guys are just all in the know. Couple of baked spaghettis. How dare you? Sacred trial, my poor innocent nest matron. Look at this bozo not knowing stuff. I know, what's wrong with me? Cold Feet is Festival of Legends. Well, there you go. April 1st, they should unnerf every card for the day. Wouldn't that be sick? I wonder how much, like, that would, how much effort that would take. Is this 40 card Exodia? Hilarious. 40 card Exodia, chat. Where is my thingamajig? The thing I need to win in this matchup. They ordered their deck and they drew all the way to time. So there's nothing for me to get from them, right? We're just hosed. Unless... Can it be Christine? Long ago, it seems so long ago, how young and innocent we were. Poop. Stinky poop, in fact. Very sad Marshy. Very sad day for the Marshy. Hey Martian Boo, what's a deck archetype you'd like to see in the new Ungoro set? I want to see something something that gains a lot of mana on turns 2, 3, and 4, somewhere in there, and like draws its whole deck and plays all those cards and wins. Extra points if it can be automated. Oh, and I need naturalized though. Grow big and strong. Alright, little poopy. Please. Give me the natural eyes. Bestow upon me. Oh, thank goodness. Alright. So I do this. And then I can do this. And then I can lose because I forgot. Chat, I don't know, chat. Come on, stop it. I don't know what anything is. I don't know how stuff works. Come in here thinking that I know anything about anything ever. That's my best. That's all I can do. You need 2 naturalize, or you need naturalize and another activator. Chat, this is gonna be the best video I've ever posted, by the way. Just in case you guys were wondering. Did we burn anything cool? No. Oh? Oh! We got a commander. Back to Ungoro, that's sick, yeah. So it's Emerald Dream, then back to Ungoro, and then Captain Chicken Gizzard. What's the moving back in time to right what was wrong, and every leap will be the next leap home. Heroes through time, yeah. Okay. This is looking pretty good for me. I'm not gonna lie, chat. I'm not gonna lie. I'm thinking this is the exciting conclusion. You guys like listened to my rant for so long so that we could get to this point. To be fair, I was baited into it. It was Guapo's idea. I'm the like, blame Guapo for me talking about balance changes for as long as I did. Here's how Bernie can still win, chat. Yeah, exactly. This does seem like a deck that's destined for YouTube success, but it's hard to tell what will do well sometimes. Real. Chat, how do you like my chances? Exodia, that's impossible. Winnable? Alright, cool. I got this. I got this. And with that, I'll see you guys on Thursday. See you later, chat. Thanks for hanging out with me. Goodbye forever.